I think that if we look at everything objectively, and we look closely, and we don't play it off as fantasy or non-reality, we can understand a lot of things throughout time, and find the answers that we kind of dance around. Ancient Sumerians, they talked about people that came from another planet called Nibiru, and they brought them knowledge and helped them with technology and helped to shape their culture in their beliefs, their practices, their laws, their ways of ruling, and everything. The whole society. Now they grew and populated, and throughout the age passed their knowledge on, and maybe they became Babylonians, but the Babylonians got what they knew passed to them, and their civilization grew and thrived, and throughout the age did the same thing as prior, and possibly rolled over into Egyptian, and Egyptians did the same thing throughout their time and age, and possibly rolled over into the Greek, and then the Greek, well, this is Hercules, and we have been talking about half human and half not human, and half human and not human, excuse me. So Greek to modern day is the same principle, if we can think of it that way. It just would appear that what we have today has been like a sculpture, chiseled and molded and sometimes broken and replaced and chopped and blocked to make everyday life into what it became and what we live in. Star events and things in the heavens, those are things that these fallen angels can understand more than us, because they're not from here like we are. We have to try and guess more and put pieces together and figure things out, but they have intelligence 1,000 times more than us, and abilities and powers, because that's what their intentions were when they were made from God. The intention was they had a purpose He wanted them to fulfill, and He gave them the tools that they needed to be able to do the job. And they chose to renegade or revolt. They went against what He asked. But that doesn't mean that they don't have the ability to shape and tempt and influence, because we know they do. We've read it all our lives, and we've grown to know that they can do things. So we keep coming back to this. This could be something else right here. Everybody thinks about aliens and life on other planets, and wouldn't that be a grand idea? But if we use the Lord's Word as the ultimate, then we know that we were already interfered with from the very beginning. So we know that the alien of this world, because they're not of this world, they come from another world, so they're alien to this world, is these guys, these angels, these bad ones, the renegade revolts, the anti-angel. So we know they're the alien, if you think about it. And they made things like this with partly their DNA and our DNA, and things like that with partly our DNA and their DNA. And it wasn't by grand accident that they've done all this. This has just been a time frame that they have formed all this into. They don't exactly know the end, when the end is either, but they're very much more intellectually capable of being able to read things that are going to come. You know, if they did, to put it in technical terms, if they were able to do a statistical analysis versus a human of events to come, they would get a higher percentage right, because they're more able to read things and see things and put things together. They don't actually see the future. They're just able to know, be more apt to know the timing, the area of the timing when sequence of events are more likely to occur. So it is kind of like prophecy, technically. So nobody really knows how this is going to turn out. When they get this genome done, they're going to turn this over to mainstream science and see what they chew on it and come up with. But as far as I know, and what we know about DNA now, DNA is DNA is DNA. So therein lies the answer, and they seem to already have it. So since we only lack a technical piece of evidence, but it would be a good crucial piece if they can get the money to go ahead and perform these tests that remain to map it. If they were to prove all that, it would be just like a bulletproof vest to science. They would have such a hard time disproving it that I don't think that they could. And then when they can't, then we look back on these time periods in our history where we thought things were fantasy or just stories, and that they couldn't have happened, and it wasn't real. But we're going to end up finding out that it was, in a big way, whether a catastrophe shakes us up, which we know there is going to be catastrophes. I pray that everyone is as safe as the Lord will allow, and can get some kind of heads up. I hope we can get. We think we're getting some ground on picking up the timing. People are looking for more and more information, and I'm one of them, on the things that are going up above and the things that are going on right now. The economy is definitely related to all these things. The Middle East is aflame, and that is a part of everything that is happening. This is not random events. This is not anything that's going to transpire to be good. These things have to play out to turn a situation into a bigger one, to where it all rolls over onto itself into the one big play out. When will it all be? We hope we can go a long way more, and that things will improve. But it just looks like when you take a clear vision of what is going on out there, and you take the rose-colored glasses off, it doesn't seem to be improving. It only seems to be prolonging, and it looks like it's quickening to me, is what I call it, a quickening. So I didn't mean to say prolonging and extending. I mean, it was sort of like prolonging a quickening. This quickening that it looks like is going on is seemingly continuing for a longer period than what I had hoped, that I thought I saw. So I think we're going to continue to see that. We're going to see the violence in the Middle East. We're getting our version of it over here, in different kinds of protests. I think they said it had spread, some type of unrest had spread to Yemen, so that's a pretty dangerous, hardcore place for it to get in. And that's what it was designed and intended for, was to start a fire and continue to burn it up until the whole thing is aflame. And it's going to affect your billfold. It's going to affect my billfold. It's going to affect a lot of other things to come. All this stuff that's going on in politics right now, all these earthquakes that we're having, all this vigilance that we're trying to protect ourselves and know when things are going to happen, or try to get a heads up on an area of time when we think things might happen. 2000 PN9, last time I looked, still seems to be on the same trajectory. It doesn't look like it's changed. So NASA, according to NASA, nothing is going to be a near miss. According to FEMA, they're having a practice run, and according to us, well, we're leery of everything. So let's just all try to prepare, because you should be prepared anyway, you know, just as a precaution. Try to be on safeguard during that time frame, and if you're possibly able to prepare some items just in case, that would be the way to go. I've set a few things back, and hopefully that will help me out if anything is to transpire. I'm hoping that it doesn't, of course. I don't want to see anybody get hurt or worse, or properties destroyed. I'd like to be able to hold this off as long as I can, but that's what I find. I find that the beginning led to the end, and everything in between is our growth, and the point in time at what we're in now has been formed by everything before, and I think these guys helped to form it. And we have a choice, 50-50 I guess, or something like that, to say yes to them and to say yes to the Lord. And we form good things as well as they form bad things, and it kind of is a fabric in societies all over the world, and it has affected and set the table. So now that we can understand a little more how we are, I will keep you all informed of everything that I can find out. I'm going to concentrate mainly on the 15th here because it's coming up, and so my next video will probably be information about that. So y'all be safe, and God bless you.